Why does this video seem like something people want to keep hidden? Not because it contains anything forbidden or shameful, but because it talks about the truth. The truth about how female psychology actually works, what genuinely drives desire, and how power is really distributed inside relationships. There is a reason she pulled away at the exact moment you were giving her the most attention. There is a reason her interest disappeared just when you were prepared to give her everything. Why isn't anyone talking about this openly? There is a reason she chose another man, even though you cared more, invested more, and had what you believed were more genuine intentions. The problem is that nobody ever taught you the real rules of this game. Instead, you were made to believe that whenever something went wrong, it had to be your fault. You weren't good enough, strong enough, or masculine enough. But the reality is much more uncomfortable. You're not a bad man. You're simply following the wrong rules. The deeper hidden principle is this. Once you understand what women truly respond to, and what they rarely admit openly, you'll stop blaming yourself and stop chasing. You'll begin behaving like a man who can see the entire picture. First truth. Nobody wants to say this out loud. Kindness alone does not create attraction. Neediness destroys it. You were told to be accommodating, to put her first, and to make her the center of your entire world. But the moment a woman becomes your whole universe, respect starts to disappear. She wants to feel important, but she doesn't want to feel responsible for carrying your entire emotional world. These are some of the most common mistakes men make. That "I can't live without you" energy doesn't draw her closer. It drives her away. A woman wants to become part of your life, not replace your entire life. That's why men who continue walking their own path and naturally lead their own lives often awaken her desire to follow. Second painful truth. A woman can tell you that she loves you while feeling almost nothing internally. What keeps the relationship alive isn't simply love, it's respect. Once respect disappears, her words and physical intimacy can start to feel empty. She may still be standing beside you physically, but emotionally she has already begun leaving because she no longer trusts your strength or direction. You can see it through the smallest changes. Her attention keeps moving toward her phone. Intimacy happens less often. Her warmth begins to fade. Yet you tell yourself that it's only a phase, without realizing that respect can disappear quietly. And once it is completely gone, bringing it back becomes extremely difficult. Third truth. Women often recognize your emotional dependence before you even recognize it yourself. And that's when attraction starts to weaken. They may test you with questions such as, "Why didn't you call?" or "Did you miss me?" You take these things as signs of interest and respond by giving even more attention, time, and energy. Little by little, you transform from an independent man into someone whose life revolves around her reactions. From her point of view, this can look like you've lost your backbone. And very few things destroy attraction faster than making a woman feel like she has to lead the person who is supposed to be the rock. Practical truth. Women constantly test boundaries, sometimes without even consciously realizing they're doing it. And when you repeatedly allow those boundaries to be crossed, respect begins to disappear. It usually starts with small things. Cancelled plans, flirting with other people, little comments meant to put you down. If you remain silent simply to avoid conflict, you're showing that you won't stand up for yourself or defend your principles. The answer isn't to explode with anger. The answer is to establish your boundaries calmly and firmly. That shows inner strength and self-respect, the very qualities that can make her feel secure and safe around you. Final truth. A woman may still love you, and yet lose desire for you when you lose respect for yourself. When you abandon your goals, stop improving yourself, and lose your discipline. She notices it even if she never says a word. Eventually, she stops seeing the man she originally fell for and starts seeing a man who has surrendered from the inside. She begins to wonder, if he won't stand up and fight for himself, how can he fight for us? The main lesson is this: women don't need a perfect man or the wealthiest man. They need a man who remains steady when life puts him under pressure, stays on his path, chooses self-respect instead of seeking approval, and never loses his identity inside a relationship. And that is exactly why these truths are rarely explained openly. Because the moment you stop chasing and begin living from your own inner strength, the entire relationship dynamic starts to change. You stop depending on her reactions and become